gamers, today we have a couple of videos to watch. We're gonna be watching the gameplay trailer for Age of Mythology Retold. We're gonna be looking at new RTS that's coming out that I had the chance to play, called Battle Aces by David Kim. He's the lead balance designer. And we got Stormgate, newest trailer, and I will also be playing Stormgate. If you're watching on Twitch now, I'll be playing Stormgate today on at 7 PM CET. For you guys on YouTube, I'll be probably uploading the video the day after, something like that, with their third faction. But first, we got a new YouTube channel. It's Beastyqt Gaming, daily AoE 4 videos. This is going to be pure gameplay channel and other game videos. So if you wanted to watch Elden Ring or you wanted to watch FFAs, 2v2s, 1v1s, check out this channel right here. Thank you very much. Now let's get started with Age of Mythology Retold. Let's get into it.
We return to you now as the gods of mankind.
Rulers of the Greeks and the Norse.
The Egyptians and the Atlanteans.
We created mankind to fight for our glory. So rise and wield my wrath.
Command beastly chaos.
Loki.
Rain down destruction.
And unleash our fury.
Worship me. Claim
Is this running on? Oh my god, it's fucking 720.
my power.
And legend
Will be yours.
Kronos. September 4th coming out. And wait, what does it say? Got the 7 days advance access with the premium edition. Okay, so I'm gonna give my opinion on the, what we're seeing here, and also if I'm gonna be playing it or not, because I know a lot of people are like, are you gonna be playing that? Are you gonna be playing that?
Now,
So let's go from here.
as the gods.
The gods is pretty cool. Let's look at the gameplay though, or in-game stuff. I mean, obviously, a lot of the stuff looks a lot better. I mean, all the definitive edition or, HD versions of these old games look a lot better, look a lot, crisper. I still don't know if they're going to be rebalancing the game, aka if they're going to be changing stuff, if they're going to be adding stuff. I don't know that yet. And to me, that will kind of impact quite a bit how long I will be playing Age of Mythology Retold. If it's the same old gameplay, it's gonna take too long to catch up to anyone that's been playing Age of Mythology for like years and years. If there's some balance stuff and all that makes it a bit more interesting, I think I might invest some time into it, but we will see. So it looks a lot better. Kraken's there looking good, swimming. Like everything looks pretty cool, right? And this is also like a trailer cinematic. So when you play a game, some things that might look good or bad when you play a game might look completely different. So have that in mind, right? Regarding
Rulers
it's funny how big these horses look compared to the buildings. It's like they're as tall as buildings.
of the Greeks and the Norse.
The Egyptians and the Atlanteans.
By the way, this FPS spiking that's happening, that's not me. That's just I don't know. I don't know if that's the video or what.
We created mankind to fight for
You see
our
that?
glory.
But yeah, if you look at right here.
Fight for
Oh my god, I went 10 seconds back. Like if you look right here, like these look pretty cool. Obviously, a lot of the effects, are gonna be redone and stuff like that. The ground looks a lot prettier and all that. Now the question is whether am I going to switch to it full time? I genuinely don't know. I do know that I will be playing it. I will be trying it. I mean, it's gonna be, you know, the new thing, and I'm sure a lot of people would want me to try it out and play it out and give my opinion. Whether I'm going to switch to it full time, I doubt, because, well, first of all, I really love playing AoE 4. I enjoy AoE 4. To be honest, I don't know if I want to invest time to switch to another RTS full time, right? I genuinely don't know. Like, you know how it goes. I might become a pro player there, or I might not. I am right now leaning towards not, because like I said, I want to play AoE 4 and I want to invest into AoE 4. But as always, and I'm not insinuating anything, but like, if tomorrow AoE 4 is dead and Age of Mythology comes out and there's terms in Age of Mythology, obviously I'll switch to it, right? If the AoE 4 is dead. But from what I know, AoE 4 is not going to be dead, so I will play it. We'll see how it goes. September 4th, I guess, is the release date, and then 7 days before that you can play with the premium edition. So that's it. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I'm glad we have a date. Yeah, love that. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, we got Battle Aces.
Excellent work,
joined
as
by
always,
David
Day9.
Kim.
What's
and
up,
Artosis.
everybody? I'm Tasteless, and I am joined with David Kim and Artosis. Today, we're going to be talking to you about a very exciting new game, Battle Aces, a fast-action RTS.
Yeah, so let's get right in.
Okay, so just for the record, I did play Battle Aces, and it is an RTS game, but it's very different from what you're used to. I mean, I'll just let it play so you guys can see what I mean.
To it, so this first building that you see right here is my core. This is where my units train out of. And also, if I lose the core, then I lose the game.
It seems like in this game, you can expand like within seconds of it starting. Is that correct?
Yeah, so right when the game starts, you have enough resources to either expand, tech, or build an army to attack with.
And I'm just gonna like commentate immediately and dissect what he's saying. So the bottom left that you see right there, the bottom right is minimap, which, you know, doesn't matter. I mean, here you can see it, but it's a minimap, right? So the way it works is you have 2 resources. The third one, I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if this is the army. I actually forgot. It's been like a month since I played, I think. But there's no workers, okay? So there's no you needing to select a worker and then send it to build something. There's no multiple selection keys. So like, you don't have to select a worker and then press build and then build something. The way it works is you always have this tab open, okay? And then you can just press, I think Z is to expand, and it expands you to the nearest base, right? So this is your main base on the bottom. The top one is your natural base, your first base. If you press Z, it immediately expands you there. And you always have a choice of like, if you want to expand, if you want to make units, or if you want to tech up to get higher level units, basically. So these are like your basic units. These are your, you know, second tech, third tech, fourth tech. So you can always choose like expand or make units or tech, but you instantly do something. Like, this isn't, again, it's a very different type of RTS. You're not supposed to like, you know, go scout or slowly build up resources. You have resources to immediately do something, right? Teching is not instantly. It takes a bit, but you can immediately do something. And I think their idea with this kind of new style RTS, and I would say to some extent what I was talking about, like modernized RTS, is that the games start immediately. You know, there's no scouting with a SCV and then a Reaper. There's no scouting with a Scout in AoE4. You're immediately getting into it and you're immediately almost fighting. So, yeah, anyway.
You know, something that we keep seeing show up on this screen right now is that intelligence bar. This is one of my favorite things about Battle Aces, where you can immediately see not just your unit.
And by the way, the game has a timer of 10 minutes.
Deck, but your opponents as well, and start strategizing from the get-go.
For sure. And not only that, I can also see the precise, I guess, tech progress of my opponent and vice versa.
So right here, you saw him just make like units and they pop out immediately.
Too. So we can strategize very precisely in this game.
So with these unit decks, you can make almost any combination of units. How many units exactly are in the game Battle Aces right now?
Yeah, so we have 45 units planned for the closed beta.
Holy fuck. Okay, I didn't know that. By the way, also I want to explain something. This thing right here that you see, there are, from what I know, I might be wrong on this, so have that in mind. But from what I know, there are no races in the game. You basically choose out loadouts. And what I mean by that is you can see they have different units, right? But they can also have the same units. I think for the purpose here, they chose all the different units. But for example, if I load in, I might have, so the enemy right here has a tier 1 unit that is extremely fast. They come in like a swarm, and they're used for counterattacking. But you can see his units are slower in their range, so they're more like slower for defending. So because the opponent went for the, fast attack, he went for the speedy units, that's maybe his style or whatever, and he went for the defensive one. Now, one thing to note is when the opponent expands, right here, you can see it. This is opponent's main base. When opponent expands, you see it on the map. I think as Kate said earlier, it feels like rock, paper, scissors. It's not, because you can see opponent's expansions. So the only option is regarding scouting if the opponent is making units or they're teching, right?
This is one of my favorite things about Battle Aces, where you can immediately see not just your unit deck, but your opponent's as well, and start strategizing from the get-go.
For sure. And not only that, I can also see the precise
I didn't know that, actually.
tech progress of my opponent and vice versa too. So we can strategize very precisely.
So with these unit decks, you can make almost any combination of units. How many units exactly are in the game Battle Aces right now?
Yeah, so we have 45 units planned for the closed beta, but we'll be adding new units every single season, so the possibilities of strategy will be endless.
That's nuts. 45
Now, I notice
units.
here on the intelligence bar, you can see you're teching up, your opponent is taking that faster third base.
So again, you can see the opponent now has a third base on the minimap.
Third base, and I see you're playing like a very defensive.
Yeah, it's like a deck building RTS that's very fast paced.
Your opponent is playing a bit more fast paced, right? Like he's running around, he's doing the attacking while you're doing the defending.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about?
And by the way, right here, so when you make an expansion, you just expand it again. This thing that you see here, there are workers. You just don't micro them. But if the opponent kills workers, it will lower your income. Okay, that's how it works.
Strategies that can be used for different players.
So in this specific game, I'm trying to show off a more easier way to play. So you'll notice that I'm not really clicking all that much kind of thing. So my basic strategy is in tier 1, I have these recall units that can teleport.
You can see he's killing the workers now, right? So once you lose the workers, it's going to take a bit to remake them.
Is making it a very
so you can
easy
damage your income,
option.
basically.
And I'm straight teching to king crabs that are very strong at harassing enemy bases and expansions.
Now, game timers and RTSs is not like a new thing, but what's interesting about this one is that this game counter is counting down. What's the story with that?
Yeah, so we have a max game limit of 10 minutes in this game. So when the timer reaches 0, then the game will end. And the winning player is whoever has the higher score when that happens.
Now we notice that the two.
I hope they have a very good way of counting the score, which I'm assuming they do because a lot of the gameplay is around the 10-minute mark. Well, not a lot. Most games that I played ended very quickly, like sub 5. But if they have this kind of thing, and if the games get too long and the game ends with a timer, they need to have a proper counting score system so that people don't abuse stuff,
They seem to be on a stealth mission here. It seems like you're skirting the bottom of the map, maybe going up for a little bit of harassment, a little bit of counterattacking.
Yeah, for sure. So I sent 2 to the back so that I can take down one of these bases, hopefully, and while playing a defensive game. But the enemy noticed that, and because he was kind of off position, that's why he went all in on my third base.
Yeah, it looks like he will end up killing off your third base here, and in fact brings in a huge army, but it looks like you will defend, unfortunately losing that third base.
Yeah, but I do have a bigger army, and I was able to save those 2 king crabs and bring them back. So I'm feeling pretty good about this massive attack right here.
Yeah, it looks like you're pushing forward, and that is a very scary army with that many king crabs. Let's see how you end up doing. It does look like it's going to end up being a rout, even taking down his flying units there. It looks like you've done a great job this game, David. And, I got to say, guys, I've played a lot of Battle Aces. And if you want a more in-depth look at the high skill expression available, check it out at playbattleaces.com.
And we'll be starting our beta very soon, in a few weeks. So please make sure to sign up for the beta while you're there at the site.
And be sure to wishlist it on Steam. Thank you so much for joining us. That's all the time we have. Day 9, back to you.
Okay, so I did play Battle Aces, and I will play it when the beta comes out. Now, a few things that I will say from playing it. I have played all kinds of genres of games. I've played like fast-paced games. I've played mobile games. I've played fast-paced RTS, slow-paced RTS, and I don't think this game is gonna be for everyone, because I think this is not necessarily a game for like majority of the Age of Empires player base, because people like to take it slow. But the game is extremely fast-paced. Like basically they just, in this span that you saw here, which was like 3 minutes total, they reached tier 2, they expanded twice each, and the game ended, right? So it's very, very fast-paced. Now, the game doesn't just, when I played at least, there's a bit more back and forth, and there's a lot more harassment. Like, when I was playing, I was using like 3 control groups. Like, I would use one type of unit to kill workers, one type of unit to snipe base specifically, and then I used like ranged units to defend your base, or my base. There's no like static defense you can plant everywhere on the map and the game lasts long. So it's a very, very fast-paced RTS. And I do think majority of the reason why this is because they wanted to modernize RTS in a way that suits today's day and age. And let's be honest, RTS games that are played right now, like Age games or StarCraft or Warcraft, are played by older people. And I know a lot of the older people might not like this fast-paced RTS. I've said this many times, but if RTS has a chance to become big again, it needs to be modernized, and I think one of the ways to do it is something like this. Otherwise, like a 13-year-old kid is not going to spend 40 minutes playing Age of Empires. Like that's just how it is. Regarding the unit comps, this is something that I wanted to see in StarCraft a long time ago. So back in like 2000 and probably 15 or 16, then I said, how cool would it be if you would have, like different commanders you could take, right? You could take Nova, and then you have different units when playing StarCraft or Terran, or you take Zagara and you have different units playing Zerg and stuff like that. And that's kind of what they've done, where you pick out a deck, or you pick out 8 units, but you have to match them and combine them properly, right? So like, if you have super squishy, speedy unit here, the second unit cannot also be harassment unit. You're just gonna die. So you have to pick out like either like if this is a squishy unit, you have to pick a tankier unit, or you have to pick a ranged unit that's good at defending. Like you have to mix and match. You also need to make sure you have a counter for air units. One unit to potentially do damage against heavy or light or whatever. So in general, the big units are countered by small units. So like a big fat unit that shoots slow is countered by the super small units, right? I found it interesting. Now, one comment that I've seen reading forums in the last day or two was that a lot of people said that it seems like very repetitive and it would get very boring very fast. To me, it didn't. I played probably like 20 games in like an hour and a bit. And the fact that you get that many games in a way, it's like scary because the games end so fast. But in the other way, it was cool that you can crank out that many games that quickly, right? But in terms of repetitiveness, obviously this is the only map that I have played, by the way. Just FYI, this map that we have right here, I'm assuming they're gonna have plenty of different maps. So that obviously changes the style and the play and everything. But each map is gonna have different units that are good on that map. So some maps are going to be smaller, so the harassment units are not as good. Some maps are going to be bigger, so the fast units are better. And that's the part that I probably enjoyed the most when I played Battle Aces, is the fact that there's a lot of strategizing before you enter the game what you're going to face. Now, I also didn't feel like, oh, my opponent went for these units and I picked these, I guess I lose. I didn't really feel like that. It's just like how you use units. Like some units had blink, for example. Some units had charge. Some units are just fast. Some units are slow. Some units take time to siege up. Like it's all different and how you use it, and you can kind of create your own style. Things that I disliked is same thing that I liked, which is the game duration. So the games are really fast, which is also the positive and the negative, right? They're very, very fast paced, but you don't have to play a fast play style. You can play a much more defensive play style. How much micro is in demand? So that's another thing. Let me show you right here. So there are units that are very micro heavy. Like there's units that can blink back, like blink stalkers. Most of the units are like you can just aim.
Army, but
like
it looks
here,
like you will.
There's nothing to target fire specifically. Like if you had an AoE unit, let's say these guys are AoE units, you could select and shift Q on like different type of ranged units so that you can blow them up and AoE them. Or you can select the ranged units to target the flying units, right? But there's not some sick, like, you know, you gotta back and forth micro.
Defend, unfortunately losing that third base.
Yeah, but I do
because
have
the
a
units
bigger
are so
army,
fast,
and I was able to save
and the
those
battles are
king
very
crabs
fast
and bring
as well.
them back. So I'm
So you'll
feeling
see
pretty
right
good
here,
about
yeah.
this massive attack right here.
Yeah, it looks like you're pushing forward, and that is a very scary army with that many king crabs. Let's see how you end up doing. Does look.
And this is higher tech unit, where opponent has just like low tech units, which is why the
Look like it's going to end up being a rout, even taking down his flank.
But one last thing that I will say before we move on to the Stormgate trailer. But out of all RTS games that I've played since StarCraft 2, this game, Battle Aces, has the best response time and unit movement that I've seen. Like, it is extremely smooth, like the way the units are moving. When the units engage each other, there's no bugging around the units, right? So if you see when the units interact with each other,
unfortunately losing that third base.
Look, the way they're moving. I just want you to pay attention to that. There's no overlapping. There's no units hitting each other and then like trying to go around. They move very smoothly.
Will defend, unfortunately losing that third base.
Yeah, but
not only that, when you micro the units, it's very responsive. There's no acceleration of the units, which is unrealistic, but it creates for a lot better gameplay. So like if you move units left, right, they move left, right. If you move up, down, they move up, down. There's no like stuttering on the units. To simply put it, the units do what they're told. You know, if you click it, they'll do it. So the unit responsiveness is great. Now, again, I think the game is not going to be for everyone, but if you are looking for fast-paced RTS with a lot of strategizing before you enter the match, I think this is going to be a very, very, very good fit for you. The game is free to play, right? Can somebody correct me on that? And you're going to have a basic amount of units unlocked, and then to further unlock units, you're going to need to unlock them with in-game currency or purchase the new units. And also, you know, let's be honest, some people are going to hate that, but that's just how it is. I think monetizing RTS games is extremely hard. I don't know how you monetize an RTS games and make the game profitable to get further development, but yeah, that sounds like pay to win. I don't think it's going to be pay to win. I don't think a unit is going to be like, you know, insanely expensive to buy. Like, I don't think they're going to do $100 units. Skins don't work in RTS games because you're not buying a skin for one unit. You're buying skin for potentially 100 units on the field, and it can cause a lot of problems and issues. Yeah, also, I mean, if that's pay to win, then also AoE 4 is pay to win, right? Because you get new civs with DLC. If you want to look at it that way, you know, let's be honest about it.
Safety thresholds exceeded. Evacuation protocols initiated. Stormgate unstable. Incoming call. Amara.
Sweetie, I can't talk right now.
Dad, the voice in my room keeps saying evacuate.
Just stay put. I'll get there as soon as I can.
Can I come to you?
No. I don't know what's...
What is this? This is Stormgate's newest trailer.
Damn it. Comrade! Shut it off!
The hell was that?
Cut the power! Now!
It is too late, my friend.
The hell does that...
crazy scientist.
Done.
Don't squat.
Fight, cower. Either way, your world will fall.
So, regarding Stormgate, wait, there's a third faction video? Oh yeah, there is, okay.
Infernals invaded us on Earth and destroyed human civilization. They engaged in battle with their sworn enemies, the Celestial Armada. Angelic form merged with advanced technology. The Celestials fight unlike anything we've seen, harnessing both light and darkness. They have new ways to mine resources and centralized army production. Their flying arc ship cascades power, which they use to expand infrastructure, energize their army, and enhance their abilities.
Enemies beware. A higher purpose.
Now, the Celestial Armada is here. Earth is the latest battleground, and the war, it's just getting started.
That show looks pretty cool.
Getting.
So, from what I know, so now the story, basically, the lore behind Stormgate is you have humans, the Infernals are coming over to take over the planet Earth, and then Celestials are also coming over to take over to Earth, but it's not so that they would help humans per se, it's to fight over it, right? So there's been a lot of obviously people call Vanguards Terran, people call Infernal Zerg, and then Celestial it's like, oh, we're gonna wait for Protoss. Now listen, there are some similarities with Protoss. I'm not gonna deny it. I think anyone that played StarCraft and that saw Celestial is gonna say the same. But the thing is, I don't know if, like, in this day and age, I don't know if you can make an RTS that doesn't have stuff from somewhere, right? So I don't know. Like, for me, my opinion on that, like, I'm not too bothered. Like, from what I've seen and played, Celestials are not playing same as, as Protoss do. Obviously, they have some similar, like, mechanics, but they also have some mechanics from, like, Night Elves, in Warcraft 3. So it's like, so that's just kind of how it is. Now, obviously, I do see the Terran, Zerg, and Protoss kind of lore going here, or not lore, but factions. But I think it'd be pretty cool if they came out with like trees as the third faction. It's like nature and stuff, but then how do you fit that into the lore? So maybe it's because of that. I don't know. Because then if they put in like tree faction, like nature, then people are going, this makes no sense. You have Infernals, demons, and now there's trees. So, yeah, I do think that at this point, I don't think you can make something that's super original with no units being similar to other units, right? Like, for example, Battle Aces earlier, they had a Blink unit. So what, they're Blink Stalkers? I mean, they're not. They just have Blink, right? So, that's it. Love the new games coming out. Again, I'm going to be playing all three of them. I'm going to be playing Battle Aces when it comes out. I think Battle Aces is coming first, beta next month. So that should be first. Then I'm going to be playing Stormgate. Then I'm going to be playing Age of Mythology Retold when it's out. And once again, check out my third YouTube channel, or second, whichever way you want to look at it. We got Beastyqt, we got Beastyqt Clips, And now we got Beastyqt Gaming. That is it. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. Check me out on Twitch. I'm probably live right now. If you're watching on Twitch, let's keep going.